And what is good, y'all? Welcome back to the page, the Director Z. I am the Luzod, or as some of you know, the Director Z. But today is another Luz review, and I'm going to do a Nicolas Cage film that went straight to streaming. It was in theaters, but it wasn't worldwide distributed, so it only got to like a few in LA, and I'd have to drive like 30 or 40 minutes just to see it. And I love Nick Cage, don't get me wrong, but it's an indie horror, and it's from Shudder, so I could have caught it on video on demand anytime. So I did rent it, and it's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. I gave it a 6 out of 10, but it really does kind of feel like a cheap carbon copy of A Quiet Place. But the only reason I gave it a little bit more than I maybe should have, because it felt generic, was probably mostly Nick Cage, but also the monster design. I gave the monster design a 10 out of 10. If I could, tap everyone on the back. I mean, pat everyone on the back that did that shit. Because holy fuck, the way these creatures look is very unsettling. And then post movie, I looked up the inspiration and how they came up with the design, and I was thinking it was like Lovecraftian or something. But yeah, the real reveal is kind of fucked up. So this is the poster. Arcadian. It's about a father who's during the apocalypse of these creatures that somehow surface on Earth, but we're not really sure where they come from. I think the ones in the Quiet Place are aliens because they came from the sky or some shit, and like they're really really sensitive to frequencies and sound. But these ones, it's not really sound. Nick Cage and his sons, he trains them and teaches them to like board up their rooms and shit. There's so many fucking scenes where they're boarding up the house or they're boarding up the shit in the house. And like Nick Cage is trying to prepare his sons because he knows he's getting older and his kids are getting older as well, and there's nothing that can change that. So he knows he's gonna die. He has to make sure his sons are ready and prepared to face this world that cannot be changed, or like there's nothing to do about it. There's even neighboring societies in this world that don't like each other. Like they don't borrow stuff, they don't trade, they don't give each other medicine or food or anything. Like everyone's very closed off and on their own, basically. It's a little bit The Last of Us and A Quiet Place. But it's not one of those places where everyone's signing and everyone has to shut the fuck up. No. In this universe, you just have to worry about the ground, because that's usually where they come from. And the night. If you could last throughout the night and don't go outside at all, you'll be fine. Also, little elements of I Am Legend now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, so Nick Cage is trying to train his two boys, and of course, some Quiet Place stuff happens where the people coincide, because either, like, basically Nick Cage gets sick or he gets injured, and his sons have to take him to that neighboring society that doesn't share, and they basically tell them to fuck off. But then one of the boys has actually been seeing one of the girls that belongs to this commune or little convent or whatever, and they're really good friends. So that's the only reason they started like helping, or like started to open a bridge between them. But they still had to take care of their dad on their own. But the girl that the guy was seeing comes to help them out, and near the end of the movie, you kind of realize that Nick Cage isn't going to make it through this, and that the point of it is that he wanted his sons to survive. And that's how I knew it was kind of generic, because everything that I kind of predicted was going to happen did happen. And originally, I was going to give it a 4 out of 10. Because even the first, like, 30, 20 minutes of the movie, you don't really see the monster, which to me, I kind of like. It's good when it's not direct. I like when I don't see it right in front of my face. I like when the monster is kind of, like, inexplicable, or you can barely see it. Like, there are some points where Nick Cage saves his son from one of them, or he's like trying to blow a hole in like a cave that's about to cave in, and all those burrowers or these fucking Lovecraftian monsters, I don't even know what to call them, start like digging through the ground, because that's what they do. They're burrowers or whatever. They dig all day. So Nick Cage has to like blow a hole in the cave, because they're gonna go through the ground and get them, because they're stuck in there. The door collapsed. So he has to, do some dynamite and blow it up. And Nick Cage literally blows up half his face because he's telling his son to get back. And he jumps, but he still gets most of the debris on his arm and his face. And so now his sons have to take care of him. But now it's also nighttime, and they're boarding the house while he's trying to get better, but he's all fucked up. And now it's these two and that girl from the other society stuck in this house. and these furry, burrowing motherfuckers are finally showing their faces, and man, they're creepy as shit. They're like chattering teeth camels, dude. It's, ugh. Like, if that shit was real, man, I would burn all of them, okay? Like, fuck that. It's weird. Like, their necks and, like, their heads move like this fucking long-necked dinosaur thing, but they crawl and move like Sasquatches and apes. And then there's this weird, long-nosed, goofy-looking thing that looks like they have, like, goofy-looking noses from Disney. And then their fucking teeth go, like really fast, and it claps, like, so loud, and the noise is unsettling, and I'm just like, holy shit, the monster design goes hard as fuck. And no matter how hard you try, you can look it up. Look up Arcadian monster design. It'll give you some bullshit from the internet, or it'll give you some bullshit from The Quiet Place. That's not what they look like. So I had to look it up. The director's inspiration for this inexplicable camel chattering teeth horror is Goofy. Yeah. The teeth and the mouth thing that reminded me of Goofy. There's a reason for that. He decided to make these dark, twisted, black fur versions of Goofy that had like these elongated mouths that can eat whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's how they can dig so fast, because their fucking mouths are like little chattering clappers and shit. Could dig and eat as much as it wants. Yeah, that shit looks like if it bites you, it's not gonna stop. It's just gonna go. Like, they have these alligator-sized mouths, but they move and they look droopy like a dog's, and it's so weird. I couldn't get a clear picture, but the concept art for this monster design was really, really crazy scary. Look at this. Look at this. He said the inspiration was for Goofy, and he wanted it to look like this. Sorry, my perspective's all off. Look at this. This is the black fur one in the movie it looks more like, except that the mouth part right there, yeah, it's longer and it can fucking move at rapid speeds. What the fuck? And the way these things moved was like very parasitic and bug-like and insectoid. And then there's a part where the society that doesn't like people or any other outsiders coming in, they get attacked by these fuckers. Like Quiet Place Part 2. I'm glad they didn't go with the blue skinless one, because that's even scarier. But the ones with the fur, ugh. But, dude, okay. So like I said, this movie, 6 out of 10. Nick Cage easily saves it with his charisma and his lead. He's a really good, like, savior father figure. I really like any movies where, like, the dad is, like, the trainer and, like, he has a daughter or a son where he's, like, teaching them how to either kill or defend themselves, or, like, how to, survive. That's one of my favorite genres. It's like, it's like Lone Wolf and the Cub. Always, always. But yeah, Nick Cage has like this final stand scene where he's like barely moving and his face is all bloody and he has a gun. And I thought he was about to go off, but really he was just there to like sacrifice himself. And it was kind of, That's why I was like, yo, if he's going to go off, I'll give this movie a 7 or an 8. And then no, it was just another generic, everyone get out of here, about to blow myself up. And it's another fucking, Dad! And the guy's like going on the scene like, really? Like, for real? Really? Like, no, Dad's going to sacrifice himself. Why? Okay, can we stop crying? We got to move on to the next scene. And then there's another scene I really like where these things, this thing, they connect to themselves and can turn into a wheel. So yeah, what really saves the movie is the lore for these fucking weird-ass burrowing Lovecraftian creatures. I don't even know what to call them. Do we just call them Goofies? Since that's what they're based on? Yeah, this is a really creepy version. This is like something you would see in one of those horror analog games where a Disney character has gone bad. Anyways, Arcadian is still a fun movie. Even with a 6 out of 10, like I said, a 5, 4, or 6 is still a C or a B. So this movie is definitely like a B minus B. And like that's why it's like a B movie. The schlock horror stuff. So if you're into that, please check it out. Nick Cage and horror for me is a no-brainer. And I still very much enjoyed it. And thank you so much for watching this video. And if you can, please subscribe and check out any other videos on this place. Like, subscribe, and share it on Twitter and on Instagram. And thank you for watching.